All right, Savannah Marshall makes her statement over in Newcastle. Let's talk about it. What's going on, fight fans? It's been a few weeks since I've been able to talk to you. I've actually missed the last few fights because my weekends have been busy, but it's good to be back and talk some boxing with you all. Hope you all been doing well. Savannah Marshall makes her statement with a brutal knockout at the end of the third round against Femke Hermans over in Newcastle. Let's start with the pros and the cons. First, let me start with Savannah. The pros would be I love the upper body movement. I loved her herky jerky style to try to throw Femke off balance. I love the stiff jab. Her jab was doing damage. Kind of remind me of that jab that Jermaine Taylor used to throw. When she was landing it, Herman's head was snapping back. She had some decent power on that jab. I also liked her smooth transition in and out of conventional to southpaw, kind of throwing her off a little bit. I love the fact that she mixed up the speed on her punches. Everything wasn't hard. Some punches came some punches came medium, some came maybe a little bit slower, and some came fast. She did a good job mixing up her punches. And I also like the patience that Savannah showed. She didn't come out there with that nervous energy or that I got to make a quick statement energy. She was very patient and followed her game plan. As for the cons, I have to say nothing. I didn't see anything that she didn't do today that I need to put a judgment on. As for Femke, let's go with the pros on her. The first one will be no fear. She didn't show any fear in there at all. She looked like she was willing to mix it up, and she looked like she was in there for a fight for the long haul. I also like the fact that she also had good movement up top. She had good upper body movement, and she wasn't just a punching bag standing there taking shots. I also like that short right uppercut that she was throwing that she caught Savannah with a couple of times. But as for the cons, I would say she had no business getting into a fire fight with Savannah Marshall. And at times she did that, and especially in the third, and that's what ended up getting her knocked out. I didn't like the fact that she was laying on the ropes. The first two rounds, she didn't do any laying on the ropes. Anytime her back would touch the ropes, she would jump off the ropes. But in that third round, she laid against the ropes, and that's what I believe made her catch the shots that got her knocked out. And I didn't like the fact that she didn't tie up. She got hit hard a few times, and when she did, she never tied up. The third round is a good example of that. Let's talk about the fight a little bit. The first round was more of a fill-out round. Each fighter was showing their movement, popping a jab, trying to cut off the distance or trying to find out what distance that they wanted to be at. The second round, it heated up a little more. Savannah started popping that jab, and as I said in her pros, I felt that every time she hit Femke with that jab, she was popping her head back. And whenever you see a fighter's head knocked back, that's a hard jab coming. Then we get to the third round. Savannah picks up the pace a little bit more, and Femke laid on the ropes, and it was that quick left hook that actually got her hurt. I think it threw her equilibrium off, and she kind of started to fade to her left. And instead of Femke grabbing Savannah, I mean, she heard the ring clap, meaning it's 10 seconds left. She was already a little hurt. She should have just charged in, dove in, grabbed Savannah, held on tight until the ref stopped her and made it to the end of the round. And she could have used that minute between the third and the fourth to actually recover and maybe do something in the fourth. But instead, she just puts her mitts up. She leans against the ropes. And then Savannah throws a right hand that she missed, dipped, and came right up with a hard left hook, caught Femke clean on the chin, and that was the end of the fight. A la Mike Tyson against Clifford Etienne, if you remember. He threw the same punch. He threw a right hand that he missed, but he immediately dipped and was throwing the left right as Etienne came up. That's the same thing Savannah did. She caught Femke right as she was coming up from that miss, caught her on the chin. That was the end of the fight. So let's talk about what we all want to talk about. It looked like it's going to happen. Savannah Marshall v. Clarissa Shields sometime in the summertime. Someone said that this will be a big year for women's boxing, and we're already getting Katie Taylor against Amanda Serrano later on this month, and it looks like we're going to get this huge middleweight fight sometime in the summer. According to what Clarissa said, the fight is going to be in the UK. I saw an interview a little bit ago that said that she really wants it to be maybe in London or somewhere in a bigger arena instead of where it was tonight in Newcastle, where Savannah Marshall fought, which looked like it may have been 1,000 people there or maybe a little more. I'm not sure, but it didn't look like a big arena. And I agree. If you're going to make this a big fight and you're going to sell it, over there. You got to put it somewhere big, somewhere where there's a lot of tickets, somewhere where they can at least make a decent amount of money for this fight. Of course, as always, it's too early to tell what's going to happen. I personally believe that this is going to be a 50-50 fight. I don't really think that, unless you're just a hardcore fan of your flag. And what I mean by that is that if you're from over here in the United States, you're going to pick Clarissa only because of the red, white, and blue. And if you're over in Newcastle, you're going to pick, Savannah basically based off of her flag. And what I mean is that, there's a lot of fans out here who really aren't giving this fight any thought. Everybody is just, this is what's going to happen, instead of really looking at it for what this is, that this is really a 50-50 fight. We really don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if Savannah Marshall's power is going to keep Clarissa Shields at bay or is going to hurt her. We don't know if Clarissa is going to be able to just box circles around Savannah. We really don't know. We're going to have to just see what happens when the fight gets signed and the fight actually happens. But I'm happy that this is finally going to happen. It's been talked for about 3 years, so it's time to get it on. All right, fight fans, what did you think about Savannah Marshall's beautiful knockout over Femke Hermans? Did you predict it? Did you think she would knock her out? And did you enjoy the fight? Did you think that Femke came in their game and maybe had a decent game plan, and maybe she was a better opponent than people gave her credit for? And if you just want to, give me your thoughts on this upcoming Marshall v. Shields fight that's going to happen sometime in the summer. Other than that, fight fans, if you haven't already, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, because I love talking boxing with you all and just getting on here and chopping it up. Other than that, that's all I got. Holla at y'all later.